Well,
Day one, really good. Day 2 started off poorly, but did get better as it went on. To me, anyway. Great main event on both shows, both days.
I have still, honestly, haven't seen day 2. I could have just said, yeah, I've seen it and nodded and agreed, but honestly, I haven't seen. I know what happens because I've seen Ash in person for first time in a while because of lockdown and that. And yeah, he gave me the lowdown. He gave me the D-low on the matches and what was good and what weren't. So I sort of know what's happening, but I haven't actually seen it yet. But I do want to watch the main event. That's one thing I do want to watch.
Well, worth watching. Yeah, no, I agree with Ash on that because it's night one. Night one was weird because you had it like it literally kicked off and they brought everybody out on stage and they did America the Beautiful. Is it America the Beautiful?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, they did America the Beautiful, and yeah, it just felt like it was kind of like a goosebump moment, like you could hear in the crowd and seeing it all, and it was like, wow,
it was
honestly
nice
feels
to see
so weird.
The crowd again.
Yeah, but then straight away, like you had the opening package, and then straight away, that's it, Storm Warning. Of course, obviously, as everybody that's listening to this will be aware, literally, I mean, what was it, like 5-6 hours before showtime or something like that, maybe a bit longer. Big storm warnings because of the storm that was hitting Florida. And yeah, like they just had this kind of weird like half hour or so of impromptu interviews that they just had to like literally piece together. I quite liked it though. I thought it was different.
I was going to say because like I was watching it on the network, on Ashley's network, and
yeah, I had my own network, not WWE.
And yeah, it was about 40 minutes until the first match started.
Yeah.
But, like, I've got to give them props where, you know, credit where credit's due. They literally had nothing to go on because it's just come out of the blue. But, yeah, like, you know, fair play to them. They made it work. And, like you said, it was pretty decent for, you know, just mashing it together there and then.
Do you think they should have brought out Hurricane just for a joke? He's there. He's backstage. He's a producer. Why not?
Well, bring Lance Storm out as well then.
Yeah.
They could have had 3-minute warning.
They could have had a match.
Bring 3-minute warning out as well.
I liked it. It sort of showed like, I think like genuine personality because obviously it wasn't scripted, which was nice. But I honestly though, you couldn't write it, could you? Like you wait a whole year.
Well, I didn't.
Well, I know. You wait a whole year for, you know, to have fans back in, and never ever has it happened, not to my knowledge, and it's like certainly not a Mania, but that's never happened to my knowledge for WWE, where they have delays like during the show.
No,
because of weather.
There is a video of them in the 80s in very heavy rain in an outdoor venue, but they still carried on.
Yeah, that's crazy. I felt so sorry. I mean, I felt sorry for everybody, but I really did feel sorry for Drew.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, he had that big Mania moment last year and it kind of, I don't want to say it sucked, like it was great that he had it, but he had it in front of no fans, so it took a little bit away, but, you know, if this year he was going to be able to get it all back, he's going to be the first one out there, that's what he wanted. And then the fucking rain stopping him from going out.
Yeah.
It's just, honestly. But no, it was, yeah, night one definitely delivered. Night two, yeah, it, like Ash said, picked up. But, I mean, I don't know if you want to start with, in terms of what makes Mania Mania, because this is still really new then. But what about this splitting into 2 days then? What do you think about that? I
like it, but I've got a feeling they might go back to being 8-hour shows again next year.
Well,
because I didn't see it. None of you saw, but for the promise for next year's, it had just 1 day. So,
well, I preferred it because it split it up, and it's not like you've got to sit through. And I'm not even exaggerating. Literally a whole day, pretty much a whole day's worth of wrestling. And then you're fucked after, and you're knackered, and, you know.
It's an 8-hour shift of work,
it's
like on nights, because of where we have to watch it until early hours.
Yeah, so it's like, I do prefer it, and I think they've taken that from New Japan's ideas. But
it works.
Yeah, I think it's better that way, because you get more viewership out of it. You know, you watch the day one, and then you're still excited the next day. It's not like you watch it all and you're so tired you couldn't enjoy like the last half of it, and couldn't remember what happened, and you're falling asleep. Even though,
Burnt out, don't you?
we pretty much would be anyway, because it's still like 4 hours on 4 hours. But it is better. It's definitely better because, like I said, you get more enjoyment out of it, because instead of being excited for one day, if you're really into it, you got 2 days of it. And if you count like Takeover and that, you got like 3 days of it, really. Or 4.
Four
days. So pretty much you got a week, pretty much, of wrestling to be excited for.
It's a lot of wrestling, though.
It works better as well. Because if you count the Hall of Fame, like, that's another day.
Yeah.
And then
More
like more
SmackDown
as well, if you want. Like, it's literally a
Was
week.
it 2 days? Was it 2 days of?
No, actually, I think it was one. I'll get confused because they did 2020 and 2021.
Did anybody watch the
night,
Hall of Fame?
No.
Bits of it, yeah.
I haven't yet, but I want to. Because the only one I'm really interested in watching is RVD's, just to see what he can and can't say.
Oddly enough, I've not watched his one. I've watched Kane's in full, and that was really good.
Who inducted him?
No one. I think they all just appeared.
Oh,
Because obviously,
well, I guess,
One thing-
COVID rules and that, but
yeah, one thing I
even
did
though they
see
got a
was
crowd of thousands of people, but you can't get somebody to
it was in the
induct you.
Thunderdome, so they couldn't
Yeah,
really.
it was a weird one.
Yeah.
The one thing I have seen is JBL, and they piped in a wrestling god chant when he said wrestling god, which
Yeah.
See, I don't understand why they do those after effects of crowd. Like, it'd be more real if they just didn't.
I bet they did. I bet they wish they did that for Hogan for both nights.
Oh God, that was everyone booing him on night 2 anytime he spoke. That was funny.
Do you reckon they will do 2 days of Rumble and 2 days of SummerSlam? That kind of thing.
So I think that will get silly.
No,
I
I
think
agree
that
with
will get
Russ.
silly.
Yeah,
But I reckon I reckon they might do, because Rumble's starting to get longer and SummerSlam's starting to get longer. Like, they'll get to that point where eventually, because it's not just like watching it at home, it's the crowd there. Like, and again, I'm sure the crowd's going to come up in terms of what makes Mania, and we'll get to it. But like, if the crowd starts falling flat, your viewing pleasure at home starts falling flat as well.
Yeah.
Like, when the crowd are into it, you're into it.
Yeah.
And it's just not as good a watch. And that's what's made like the Thunderdome stuff easier to watch than when there's no crowd, obviously, but it's still a bit, it's just not the same. But I know, well, you can only do what you can do with that, obviously. But yeah, the 2-night thing, I like it. But one of the things I think that makes that special, and going forwards, I think could be a big staple of WrestleMania, like in the years to come if they stick with it, is that you genuinely feel that you're getting 2 main events. Like, they always, like before, it's like, the Rumble winner's in the main event, but they'd be challenging for the world title in the opening match, or halfway through the show, and it's like, well, it's not really a main event, is it? Like, it's a main event, but it's not the main event. But I thought that was awesome. Like, I think that's another thing that made night 2 so special. I think they could have probably done with that match on night 2, because that was history making. It's 2 black women main eventing WrestleMania for the women's championship.
Absolutely. Like, I could not have, I can't say any more good things about it. Like, it's literally...
Yeah, tore the house down as well.
I mean...
Not according to Meltzer.
Oh, well, fuck him.
Fuck Meltzer.
He's a tosser.
I thought it was amazing, and it was great to watch it, but... Yeah, I'd say... And 2 SmackDown main events, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
And can I just say, like, if, like, I don't know, 5 years ago even, or 10 years ago, maybe even 5, if you'd have said, yeah, you're going to have 2 black women main eventing WrestleMania, you wouldn't have believed it, would you? Like, you would have thought that would have been impossible.
Yeah, not from them back then. But, I mean, I think that's why there's been a lot of talk, and rightly so, especially with this Mania, but for, I think, the black community, because, Lashley walked in as champion and defended. Apollo Crews and Big E in their IC title match.
Yeah.
Of course, Sasha and Bianca, the New Day being there. I mean, it was, it's a shame, I think, in a way, like, because I know some people are saying, like, oh, well, it's not just about black history, it's about it's history in general. And I don't know if that's disrespectful or not, because JBL, I know he said that on the pre-show panel. I don't think he meant it in a disrespectful way, but it depends how
JBL is a disrespectful bastard anyway, isn't he?
But... Like, I think it is a shame, though, that we're still, like, it's 2021 and you have to, like, has to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I know what you
it's
mean.
crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to downplay it at all, but it shouldn't have to be a big deal.
Yeah, because
it's so nice to see it.
Yeah, like echoing what Russ said, it's hard to say it like in a way that you want to say it because it could easily come across the wrong way. But I get exactly what you mean. Like, it shouldn't be a big thing because it should be normal. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it shouldn't be a big thing because it should just be, the norm and, the accepted. It shouldn't have to be a big deal.
But same as a women's main event in general. I think, the ending to the triple threat a couple of years ago was a botched finish, but, does that mean that it shouldn't have been where it was? Absolutely not. It was great. It was it was a great moment, and it was great for the women and the women's wrestling in general. And then this year, I think, has taken that next step.
And
so
you know what? Like,
it's awesome.
The women that are in the ring today, like, honestly, like, some of them are better than the men. Like, they really are.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are up there with the men. They like when it comes to, talent and agility and charisma and that, like, some of them are up there with the men. Like, you can't deny that. They're definitely where they should be. Like, they should have been given, the limelight a lot sooner than they did, but that's history for another day. But yeah, they definitely deserve to, where they are.
The triple threat from night 2 was a really, 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 really good match. But
I'm going to see it.
Takeaway.
I'm going to see it later.
It's gonna be the main event from night 1 as the biggest takeaway because of all the, it's so special. And I think in terms of what makes WrestleMania, it's WrestleMania. Like, when you talk about WrestleMania moments, that is the moment, I think, from this year, or at least one of them. That is the moment to take away from it.
That mattered a lot.
It's just, but like, not just even within the match, but just the graphic and the two of them stood in the ring. Bianca's crying even before it starts. Sasha's like nodding, like, yeah, I know. Like, that's awesome. That's a moment. That's a good WrestleMania moment.
And then after when Belair wins and her family, I thought they were going to jump the barricade because it looked like they were going to.
But there can be an argument, and it's to play devil's advocate now. And as special as it is, and I'm not taking anything away from any of it, because it wasn't just this match, but for a lot of the matches that led into it, there wasn't, I feel, as big of a build or as good of a build for some of the matches going into Mania as you've had for matches at previous Manias. So when we talk about what makes WrestleMania, Jay, I know you want to take the floor with this one, and I think this is like a really good thing to kind of start with, is feuds, anticipation, builds. Like, what have you got in mind, Jay? Like, what is it about a build to a storyline or to a match that makes it a WrestleMania worthy match?
3 men. 1 ball. I did it.